Hi, so this week I remembered why I was interested in trying to get an electric car, and particularly a Tesla of some kind, living here on mainland Europe. So I had a work trip by train from Denmark to Germany to Hamburg, and yeah, it was a real reminder of why any of us want electric cars in the first place, which is kind of, travel, adventure, seeing new places, and getting there in a hassle-free, zero tailpipe emissions way, if at all possible. So I was in Hamburg and I took the train, and it was about a 4.5 hour train trip, so not ideal really, a bit draining, but the train was okay. I'm still surprised that there aren't fast trains in Denmark, but beautiful scenery on the train, but it's a shame it's not a bit faster and a bit cheaper. But of course this was a work trip, so that was okay. After being in Aarhus, Denmark for a while, Hamburg was a bit of a surprise. It seems to be quite a kind of prosperous, wealthy city with lots of high-end shops and things. I was quite surprised after being in Aarhus, Denmark for a while, which is quite sort of, minimalist on the kind of consumer culture, which is fine by me, but it was quite a, suddenly bright lights, big buildings, lots of people, big city of Hamburg, so that was kind of nice to see. And luckily I was there, it was quite beautiful weather and lots of, hadn't been to Hamburg. I think maybe I've been to Hamburg once in 1994 on the way to a friend who was staying in Germany for a placement year, I think it was. And I went to Berlin that year as well when I was very young. It was a nice experience, and not long after the fall of the Berlin Wall, so that was fascinating. But I don't go to Germany that often. I wish I would like to go a lot more. Again, this connects to having some sort of way to get there with the family in a reliable way, in a kind of low emissions kind of way. So I actually popped into the Tesla store in Hamburg because I'm still trying to follow up on this issue about where is the cheapest place to get one if we do decide to get one. And yeah, I got pretty much the same message that it's probably best to get it in Denmark rather than trying to fiddle around getting it in Germany and importing it and so on. Apparently there are specialist companies that import cars and electric cars from Germany to Denmark for various reasons to do with, the kind of pricing and taxing and so on. But it's probably best to just do it in Denmark. If we do it, it's going to be pricey, but that's the way to do it, it seems. So yeah, quite stunned by generally just the amount of stuff on offer in Hamburg. The food choices were a world apart from what I've been looking at in Denmark most of the time. Nothing wrong with the food in Denmark, it's quite nice, lovely bread and things, but it was really incredible variety of stuff in the big shopping malls in Hamburg. Hotel was in a great location, overlooking the water and near the harbour and so on. Some incredible scale of building and things going on there, and I think Hamburg is one heck of a port. There are loads of people in the hotel and very busy and so on. Quite interesting. Again, I don't know where Germany's at with electric car adoption, so I've kind of concluded that, Norway's the most electric car crazy place I've ever seen. There's tons and tons of Teslas and all kind of varieties of electric cars there. The UK's somewhere kind of in the middle in terms of adoption. Denmark kind of lagging behind. Germany, I'm not really sure. There was a Tesla store there, as I say, and I did see a few electric cars around. Particularly, I saw two BMW i8s, one with a wrap, kind of in a special colour, and another one on the same street next to all these kind of fancy high-end shops. But yeah, other than that, didn't really get an idea of it. I noticed parking, there was some smart cars had done some amusing parking manoeuvres, and there was this kind of electric bicycle rickshaw thing in town as well, which I wish we'd had time to test out, especially as I've been looking for some kind of, car-like bicycle thing. That was interesting to see. One fascinating thing after being in Aarhus for a while, where the cycle lanes are great cycling infrastructure here, and well demarcated, so you can always tell where the cycle lane is, more or less. The ones in Hamburg were really vague and a bit too blended into the landscape, into the kind of street furniture, the architecture. And, I had kind of annoyed cyclists a few times until I got used to the fact that these very subtly marked areas of the pavement were the cycle lanes there. But there seemed to be a lot of people cycling, again, a lot of electric bicycles. Not any of the brands that I've seen here in Denmark, but that's kind of fine. I did look at the price of the Tesla Model 3 there, and I think works out a bit cheaper than it would be in Denmark. There was a Model 3 going around for test drives that I could see, because I spotted it pulling up outside the store. But, other than chatting to the guy about this kind of import thing and the specialist import companies, didn't really make much progress on that. But still, I just had this incredible feeling of, freedom and traveling and adventure and going to a new place and taking a train, or traveling over land. And suddenly people are speaking a new language, and the scenery subtly changes, and the landscape changes and so on, and the shops and things are different, and the scenery is generally different. Really nice. I could see myself enjoying that. By train, we probably could do it as a family. It would be expensive. It would be a few €100 to travel, all four of us, I think. A return trip to somewhere like Hamburg, and then perhaps more if we're heading on. I imagine in something like a Tesla with the supercharger network, it would be pretty good. Not sure about toll roads and things. I'd probably have to watch back some of Bjorn Nilon's videos with tips about traveling down, from through Denmark and into Germany, quickest ways to do it, cheapest ways to do it. But it really gave me a feel that this would be a very nice thing to do, for the family moving around. And I think I'd love to go back to Hamburg and take the family there. And it turns out one of my old friends from Manchester is working in Hamburg, so I'm going to try and, hook up with him and see what he's up to these days. And the train trip back was pretty much the same. It was a bit long again. There was kind of passport checks, and we had to change train unexpectedly. Apparently it was explained, I had my headphones on, but overall it was really nice to get out, travel, go to a different country by land rather than, I don't like to fly that much, and the whole hassle of airports and, all the time you've got to be there in advance and having it separated from your luggage and all that kind of hassle and the huge high emissions of flying. So this kind of like, going low and slow. One of my former colleagues, Professor Kevin Anderson at the University of Manchester, likes to call it, a much better way of getting around. And it really did give me a taste of what Tesla life would be like on mainland Europe, in continental Europe. So it was good for that. It may take us a while to go ahead. I've been trying to get hold of electric bicycles still. The one I ordered, the Buzzroar, still hasn't turned up. Apparently it'll be here next week, hopefully. And I seem to have possibly missed out on a cargo bike that I was hoping to get at a really high discount because someone else was interested and managed to kind of beat me to it. But I might actually go ahead and get a really well spec'd out Reiser and Muller e-bike, really nice one that I've seen, and maybe get it kind of fully spec'd out, spend quite a bit of money because I can probably get something back if I sell it secondhand. See if I can make it to the winter without a car. Try and do a kind of car-free life, replacing an electric car with an electric bicycle as much as possible, using it to take the family around, to take my son to kindergarten and so on, and see if it works. Might be a bit of fun. I've been talking about it for a while, thought I'd finally managed to get there and do it yesterday, and got sort of beaten, at the post basically by someone else who was interested. I think. We'll see. I'll hear later in the week whether they did actually buy it or whether it's still available. Bit of a hassle. I seem to have difficulties getting hold of things here and moving things forward. But at the same time, the crates behind me are going to the charity shop. We've almost fully unpacked. We can get the furniture sorted out and start settling down and just sort of enjoying life here in Denmark rather than just constantly doing, bureaucracy and paperwork and things to do with moving. Because that hasn't left much time for anything else, and I've been sort of jealously watching Bjorn Nilon's videos as he's testing all manner of the new electric cars, like the Renault Zoe 50, with the kind of 50 kilowatt hour or whatever the capacity is on that. I want to give these things a go, want to go around and find some cars. There hasn't been a minute at all really to do that, and I still want to get a bicycle just for the day-to-day thing of going to the kindergarten, and that's been just silly to sort out for some reason. But I think I've also now tested every kind of cargo family e-bike that exists on the planet. Possibly. Tried every Danish brand. I'll come back to that if I do get a kind of one of the German cargo e-bikes. But that's it for now. Yeah, so real taste of a sense of adventure. Could really get a sense from this trip this week to Germany what it would be like and the freedom it would give to have a Tesla and access to their kind of charging network. Perhaps it's not so bad with other charging networks on mainland Europe. They're like the Ionity chargers. Be interested to hear from you if you've travelled across Europe with the Ionity chargers. I know again that Bjorn Nieland's doing it all the time, but just from someone who kind of like, he's hardcore in electric car traveling. He sleeps in his car. He doesn't, get bothered and phased by delays and things. What's it like? What's it like with a family? He doesn't travel with a family. That's one thing. So if you're traveling with a family across Europe without a Tesla and using other charging networks, just let me know what it's like, because I think I could really like that kind of lifestyle. It might be worth the kind of huge, costs of having an electric car in Denmark. We'll see. But a bit of a taste for it, and it made me happy. And yeah, that's my kind of video for this week. So please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. Hopefully there'll be some news coming soon with some new electric vehicles of some kind, bikes or whatever. And yeah, please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, and bye for now.